Good morning. Happy Friday for those of us in this hemisphere. Maybe it's Saturday already somewhere else. Anyway, um, here we are. I'm kind of psyched about this one today. I've been wanting to make something like this for a while, and I just kind of had a aha moment for how I thought I wanted to go about it last night. So let's see if that actually works or not. But I think it will. I'm reasonably confident. All right. So we're going to be making a ruin of a crashed starship in a thick jungle setting. Sort of Lost meets, I don't know. It's a pretty standard looking thing, although often it's just airplanes. But I thought I wanted to try it. So we're going to try and go for like the holes in the fuselage, the hull, some exposed support girders, lots of wires. Yeah, it'll be fun. Let's start with the ship. I'm going to use random starship. And I'm not going to go terribly complicated because we're going to take it apart anyway. But I do want to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to go to wireframe, turn off, just so I can kind of see what the geometry is going to look like, because that's going to matter for us this time. And I'm going to maybe make it 7 sections. Oh, I just already like that one a lot. I mean, I hate to just stop, but yeah, that could be cool. No, I think we're going to do a bit more. We want a few more so that we can see the exposed support structure more. I think we need a bit of edge cutting. So let's add some more. That's feeling pretty good. I also don't want to feel quite this big as a ship, although it might not matter. Well, let's see. If I were kind of coming up on it or something, we could look at it like that. Um, yeah. Last, I was thinking I would make it longer, but this might actually work. I don't like those things. Let's just generate 1 or 2 more. So this is hull seed 1. Well, we got at least, ooh, yeah. Okay, nope, that's what we're doing. There we go. There's our ship that we're going to use to make this thing. And you can see it's pretty simple, deliberately so. But we're going to mess with it. And we're not going to apply any plating or anything weird like that to this one because we're going to do it all afterwards so we can rip it up better. But the first thing we are going to do is Shift D and make a copy of it and hide it. And I think our starting place is going to be to get the superstructure in place. And it's actually really simple. I'm just going to use the wireframe modifier and bring it in to something about like that. Does that feel good? That feels all right. And therein lies some superstructure. Now, for scaling purposes, what we could try and why we made duplicates of this. Let's do this. So there's going to be our major superstructure. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply this mirror, Control A, and this wireframe. But now let's bring back this one and make another copy of it. And on our, it doesn't matter which one, but second copy, I'm going to subdivide it. Simple. And again, I'm going to turn back on my wireframe so I can see it, the scaling. Because now, I think 1, maybe 2. Let's just see what 2 looks like. We're on the new one. Q, we're going to wireframe again. And shrink it down and make it smaller. So now we have this kind of interesting, make it, I don't like minuses. 0.01. Okay. And did I make this top on minus? Let's see. face orientation. No, I didn't. Good. If you make it minus, then it points inside and you get the red facing. So now we have this superstructure and we're going to rip it apart more. But you can see we have our big main and then our small one. I'm liking that. So let's apply modifiers, all of them. Okay. And I'm just going to rename it so I know what it is. We're going to call this small girders. They're not really girders, I know, but whatever. And large girders. Okay. So now we have like the outside like structure of our ship, but we need to start making some panels, and we don't want the whole ship. Like we could just, there's a ship, but we're going to have parts that have fallen off from either damage in space where it crashed or as it's been sitting here on Earth for a long time. This does feel like a big ship. We haven't said anything about scale yet, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to turn off small girders and I'm going to turn back on our default ship. And I'm just for funsies, I don't need to make a copy of it this time. Okay, I'm going to apply our mirror modifier though. And I'm going to select it all and bring up random panels. So random panels does some neat things. By default, it's set the panel amount to 100%. We can bring that down though. And we can also click on this to remove panels. And we can't see it yet is the problem because the underlying thing is still there, but we've got panels created. But if we come over here and go down to viewport display, we can turn our base model from display as textured to display as bounds. And voila, look at that. We're starting to have panels ripped out. Looks cool. And we can again adjust our panel amounts. And unfortunately, it turns it back on again for whatever reason, but I don't understand why. But there you go. Let's try cutting it. Do a one cut for subdivision. Quit turning it back on. I don't want to see you. Bounds. Now we got some smaller panels that kind of go to those smaller sections, but they're inset inside the structure and they should be on the outside. So we're going to just, should be able to just increase the depth of our panels up to where they are over our structure. Still looking good. I'll just pretend the other thing doesn't exist for right now. Now we've kind of set where we want it to be. And I think that's looking sweet, but maybe I want to bring it down. I had an idea. Let's bring it down even more. Like 5%. So now if we turn back off this, I mean, it's probably a little more than that. 12. Oh, doesn't. Delete it. Do it again. I jumped out and made a change, so I couldn't just use F9 anymore. But it's fine because it keeps the same thing. Let's go 12. Let's go to 10%. No, it's all in the front. I don't want 10%. Or if I do, I want a different seed. Let's play with where it's going to put it. We can kind of still see because now it's going over. That feels good. I like that. Yeah, there we go. So we got some big panels now in our ship. That's cool. Let's do it one more time. And I'm going to turn off our big panels this time and our large girders and turn on our small because we're going to make some smaller ones that fit inside. So like inner panels. So we have a multiple layering, hopefully, that should be kind of cool. Random panels. And again, seed, let's cut it twice, panel size 2%. No. Does that even make a difference for us? Panel amount, 5. Panel size, 5%. Now, where's it putting it? So we can see it's going over there on the big one. But we're going to shrink back down this depth. So now it's just over that inner one. And can I go to viewport? Let's see, bounds just to see what we got. And maybe a bit more. And I can obviously remove them anyway. And I just want to make sure I have a different panel seed than I had for the other one, because I want them to do some overlapping. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. Feels good to me. So the ship, you can see, has been kind of blown out. It's almost, the top is basically gone. This side is basically gone. This side has more parts. Maybe we'll look at it from here or we'll mirror it. But I think like that could be cool. I think. Ooh, no, that's cool. That's a neat area to look at. It's like it's just a matter of finding kind of cool spaces now. That's also cool. All right. I'm gonna just maybe give it a bit more coverage. I think we don't want quite this many holes. Let's see, that's the small one. Delete. That's a shame. Selected. And just for grins and giggles, let's see what happens if we selection, um, select random. We want to deselect. I want to deselect like 33. Okay, so now we got some faces, and I'm gonna. I want to make sure that those top ones have at least some. Yes. Maybe not 33. Let's deselect 25. Just gives a little bit more. Okay. Now tab. And even though it's going to get rid of us again, let's go back to bounds. And Shift Q, random panels. Two. And F9, amount 20, 25. Panel seed. All right, and a bit more. I just want it to have holes, but okay. That's feeling pretty good. Maybe even a little more. I have this tendency to take too much away, I think, maybe. Yeah, so like even at 100, since we've cut the other one away, that's okay. And let's just check. We're not changing any of that. Notches. Cut 2. That's kind of neat. Get some of that too. I'm not sure we'll see it, but cool. All right. So we'll say that is our ship after it has been unhappified. And obviously, like we're gonna have to be careful where we show sections. We don't probably want to show up here where we would think the cockpit would be because it's well empty. Because we're gonna rely on darkness inside to kind of hide a lot of our sins. And I think that'll be okay. So now we have, rename it. Let's see, outer panels and inner panels. And we are going to still distress it some more, so don't worry. Okay, so let's just turn all those suckers off and go back to our starship. Is it this one? Yes. Tab, select everything again. And now I'm going to drop back out of bounds into solid. Okay. Now, if we look at the sucker, right now it's facing outward. So the faces are all pointing outward, which is cool. But let's see what happens if we invert that and I'm going to go to bounds and shift Q and random cells. Island size. Cool. And then we want to make thickness thicker. And we're going to cut it. Whew. And that's big. It might be too big for what I'm looking for. Unless we cut it. Can we cut it? So you get almost a whole ship. Pool size 1. Island size 5. Is this getting us too big? This might not work. This is an idea I had for adding shapes to the inside of the ship, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's just jumping us up too much. So let's undo it. It's fine. I'll try it a different way. Random scatter cubes. And we want 25. And we want max size to be 0.2. And I think we want to be, let's make them longer, potentially. There we go. Now let's see what happens if we turn back on our, I get something sticking out. Can I make them not stick out? Maximum exploded offset. Can make it negative? -1. That makes them further out. Can I go minimum -1? No, it doesn't look like it wants to explode below 0. Offset, what does that do? There we go. That's what we wanted. And let's turn our stuff back on. At least we can see. So it's on the inside of the ship now. A bit more of an offset. And okay. Cool. Just to give us some things in there. I mean, I know they're just nothing, but that's fine. Let's maybe make 50. Oh, I keep turning it off again. It's weird, but cool. All right, so we got some things that'll just catch light and bounce, and then we can attach plants to and potentially model on if we need to. So we have some inner details for looking at it this way. Now let's do one more random starship. We got everything selected. Q. Let's do some. Ooh, no, there's a couple interesting ideas. Let's see. Random tubes. I hadn't even thought of this one yet. Amount 50. Is there an offset? There is an offset. 0. Or, oh no, it's bevel offset. We don't need to mess with that. Offset goes out. Max, min. Oh, it might even be okay just to have it be like that though. Let's try to get some pipes and stuff running along the inside. And length max 10. Seed, fine. And I'll make them a little smaller. So they're underneath things. And we're going to cut. I'm just trying to create some sense that the ship had some stuff in it. But that feels like we might be getting it. Let's see. And let's go with 200. I got a beefy computer. We can handle it. Maybe. Yeah, now that's cool. I like it. I think that's good. And one more, I know, to random cables. And we want cable amounts 50. And we want our max to be smaller. $100. And we want our bevel radius to be a bit smaller. And yeah. Let's see what other cool things we can change with that. Slack seed, yeah, it's fine. Let's see, full limit. Does that go nuts? No, there's only one island, so I don't think that works. None. Yeah. I'm gonna keep our resolution down because just to help us out here. And let's see, we can always just delete the ones we don't like, so that's fine too. But I think that could be cool. Maybe I'll cut it down so it's not quite a. Again, I tend to go over the top. Let's do 50. You get a sense of them without being nuts. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We might need to get rid of this one because it's coming right into our plate. But okay. Oh, and we need to save. Saving. 2305, 26, 1, stream, crashed starship. 2305, 26-1, stream, crashed starship. Man, it's getting hot in here. We're going to get up to like 28 degrees Celsius today, which for Vancouver is hot. And there's no air conditioning in my office room, so we got the window open, but it's already getting warm. It's not even 8 o'clock, and it says it's like 20 degrees out. So, okay. Now I'm going to turn off the ship because I think we've got an appropriate level of ruinage for what we want. Let's come in, and I'm going to just, because I think I'm looking at this angle, just that seems where I keep coming back to. Let's grab this one and delete it. And I think this one's just too long. So this one and delete the vertices. Now it's mostly on the inside. Now we need to think about scale. This is actually not very big right now. Oh, before that though, let's take our cables, Q. Let's just get rid of this big one too. That's stupid. There's no need for that. Select linked, delete vertices, tab. Okay. No point in making extra geometry we have to deal with later if we don't have to. Q, convert to mesh. We'll go to our pipes and Q, convert to mesh. So everything's nice and easy for us to deal with right now. And do we scale first or texture first? Let's scale first. Since remember we got a person, we have to scale everything because I don't want to mesh. I don't want to merge them together yet. That was my thought. Make a human. See, tiny ship. But we can fix that. Yes, I know. Okay. Delete. 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 Okay, so there's our person, and I just want to make him unselectable right now. We're going to grab everything else, and we're going to scale around the 3D cursor until we get something feels like it should be about the right size. That might be a bit too big. I want it like something kind of airplane sized. That feels like a good size ship for a jungle to me. I'm liking it. It would have like a 4-person crew in the front and then a bit of cargo, and yeah. Let's see, rotation scale saved. Let's turn off our person. So that's our ship to scale. Let's texture it now. You can kind of do this in a lot of different orders, and there's no right or wrong way, but I think we're going to do it this way. So cables, how do I want to do cables? I want everything to be grungy, potentially, but I think I'm going to add, let's just go with rubber. We can always change it. Did I have a stream drop? It does it disconnected and then it reconnected. Well, hopefully people are here and can see it. All right. So I'm gonna grab what to grab. I'm gonna start with distressed hull on those and on those. Well, maybe that too. I didn't want on that, but there we go. Just kind of gonna make it. Maybe I'll go with this for a default for everything and then change it around afterward. I don't want a lot of like color to this because we're gonna tweak it afterward. And so if everything is distressed hull, it looks like that. Now distressed hull gives us the ability to do some vertex coloring, which maybe would be cool. Tab A, cool. Shift Q, V color, and medium bright. Okay. That gives us some warmers. And Shift Q, and V color, object. Cool. Now they're the same color but different. That's cool. All right. All right. Yeah. No, I'm a believer for now. And we probably want to tear some chunks out of this too. I think we can do that now. Now that we've got things textured as different components, I just want to make sure if I join everything together. Oh no, it makes them all as one. I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna just texture inner panel. I can spell. And because I'm not sure yet about textures, I don't want to join things together and have it all linked together. So outer. So I'm just making unique copies of each material. And it's going to be inner cubes. These I'm reasonably okay with letting them be the same, so I'm not going to mess with that. A, Control J. So now we have our ship as one object. I'm going to save again. It's neat how it creates that underneath because those are near and it's got a, yeah. Okay, cool. Now that's looking good, but let's say there's a big chunk out of this ship. Like we're gonna take the front out, I think. That seems cool. Day, mesh. Oh, no. Where do I want to undo? Undo. I don't want to include the cables just yet because I want them to be flying through things. Control J. So I'm going to leave the cables as their own objects. So I can turn this off and I have the cables there. I wish they were a little, maybe I should have made them a bit more dangly, but I still got the original ship. Well, it's smaller now. Nope, it's gonna be that. We can always add more. I know I'm talking to myself, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is our ship. Now let's create a, doesn't really matter what, rock generator? Generator rock, sure. Scale it to rock, scale it up. 7 GX SX SX. Why is it not? Am I on local? No, whatever. Weird. All right, fine. I don't care. We're still just going to take out, we'll just take out that section there. And I'm going to just, yeah, apply all these modifiers so it's clean. It's just a rock. And then we're going to use Booleans and subtract it. Cool. And in this case, I actually want to subtract it from this one, from the cables too. So Boolean cables. And then cables, Control J, not Control J, Jesus, Control minus. Undo. Okay. Rock, cables. Turn off my ship. Pass off. Rock, cables. They're unselectable. You guys are all watching me do that and being like, dumbass. Okay, so now that cuts that out too. And apply. And turn back on our ship. Now we got a big hole in our ship. And let's scale my rock down. I applied that, didn't I? No, now I did. Now we can take it and scale our rock down. And bring it over here. Scale it down more. Global individual origin, scale it down. 7G. I'm just going to put a couple holes in this thing. Control minus. Ooh, I dig that. I like that it actually has some junk there. Cool. And apply. And we're going to take it again. 1. And Control minus. Control A. And do we want more, or is that good? We can always add more. Let's just do one more here. 7. Select the ship, Control minus, and Control A to apply. Delete a rock, get out of the way. Yeah, okay, cool. It just keeps reconnecting. Well, I hope it's back. Says it's live. OBS dropped and reconnected again. Yeah, punk. Why am I on? No? Oh, I keep doing this. Material. There you go. And I'm going to, I'll just close it for right now. I know I'm going to be bringing it back up again, but. So how do we want this sucker to sit? And now I think I'm going to join these together. Yeah. How do we want this to sit? We can angle it any way we want. Want to nosedive in, come crashing in. I don't know. Let's create an ant landscape. A landscape. And we're going to give it 512 because it's going to be a bit bigger. And 512. and a random seed of something random. I just don't want to have the same terrain every time. And then let's scale it. And scale it some more. And scale it along the Y. It's enough scalage. And GZ, bring it down. So we could just kind of do something like that. I mean, it's maybe dumb, but it kind of works. I mean, I don't know why it would be dumb. I say stuff like that. It's like, it's not dumb. It's just a spaceship. I want to bring some like sculpting in here so it kind of the ground goes up against our ship. So it looks like it kind of furrowed into the ground. So let's Control A, rotation scale. And right now we're not terribly off. But our landscape is, I'm just going to retopologize it because I can to, what are we at now? It says it's 350. So, and I want to keep that roughly. So let's go with 400,000 and remesh it. And it's thinking. I love how fast this thing is. Watch it be garbage afterward and completely blow up. No, I think it'd be all right. Remeshing succeeded. Good. Let's just delete the old landscape. And now let's kind of go in. Yeah, and it looks good. And the reason for that is so now I can sculpt it, and it'll sculpt a little bit more accurately than if the polys were stretched. So let's go append our brushes again. Blender brushes, rock brushes, rock brushes, brush, all of them, append. Come over here to sculpt mode. And grab this one because it looks like it's going to push them up. Texture, and we need to vector displacement. Now we can, yes, bring up, so it looks like it's kind of dug into the ground there. I could do it both sides, but it's not, this is not for a game or anything like that. I'm gonna just kind of hide some things that I think would be better hidden too. So there's no real reason to do it in literally any spot other than where we're going to be seeing it. The rest is overkill. So something like that, and it gives me a fair amount of leeway to pick a second camera angle. I'm going to kind of come in here and do it there as well. Just a little, no, we don't want that. That's cool. Save and layout. So we've now adjusted our ground. So it looks like this ship is kind of dug its way in when it crashed. And then we're going to put a bunch of plants and trees and stuff around it. So it will have grown since then. That's our concept. I'm really digging this. Let's see, tab, view, cubic projection. And I don't think I actually want rocks on this one because it's just like soft jungle soil. So let's just go grab, see, I told you I'd bring it back. Blender shaders, Blender guppy, ground. It's just a simple, it's a good ground shader, frankly. He does such good work. It's a little dry, but I think after we're done with it, it will be good. So we got that. We are kicking butt, people. I like how dark it is on the inside, and you can see stuff kind of just hanging around inside. That's cool. Now, I do think I kind of want to try to avoid a bunch of trees growing inside, at least unless I put them there. So let's do some weight painting on this ground so we can block that out. Object mode, weight paint. Grab my trusty rusty stylus. Solo the object. Once I got the outline there, bring it back around. And I'm going to kind of make it over on this side less just to cut into my poly count. I don't need as many trees. We'll let there be potentially a couple, but there's no need for it to have that many if we're not going to look at it that way. And I think we need to start, although did I pick the wrong side? No, I don't think I did. Weight paint. Nope, I did. I totally grabbed the wrong side. Yeah, I could make names for myself, but why? Pull that back in and increase our weight back to 1 and do the same thing where it should have been over here on the other side. Yeah. Okay, and we're not going to see up here at all, I don't think. So let's just make all that less. Means we can go back and add it later if we want to, but we don't have to. And I think a good tree trim is going to be bumped, but let's just kind of bump it out a little bit. There we go. Now we got a few things, so it doesn't feel quite so uniform. I don't know if it's going to matter, but hey, we can always add our own trees, and we will. Oh, we will, I think. Okay, so let's set our first camera angle to play with. Let's say it's going to be that. And I'm going to close this area. And as per usual, we will set our camera to an area Alexa 65. We'll set our lens to the Cook 50. Is someone talking to me? Or... Oh, no. And is this coming up? Okay, yep, yeah, we can see it. Cool. Anyway, and our resolution to 2.39 as our aspect ratio. And select it. So that would be kind of, I think that's a reasonable, I do like having that dent there. So maybe we'll do something like this as our initial angle. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not super into this stuff here, but I think we're going to cover it up with trees enough that it won't really matter. Let's see what happens if we do just a default old scattered jungle ground. Let's see if it freaks out because it's too big. Although it's not a huge terrain. Scatter. We want to select our ground plane. And I think I did already, but just make sure its rotation scale is set. We want to biome scatter, open biomes, reload. I don't know why it seems to freak out sometimes. And where's my jungle? Junglescapes. This is like grounds. So we have jungle forest and jungle grounds. I'm going to do jungle ground 6. Let's see how that looks. I'm just going to think about it a lot. And those feel really big. Why are they so big? I mean, I don't know. Hey, it's all right. Cool. So we got that, and it didn't freak out at us. That's good. Go forest. Is that a big tree? That looks like a big tree. We would like big trees. Let's see what it gives us. It's probably duplicating our ground, but I don't actually mind that because I would mind a little bit more stuff there. That's cool. It's definitely helping. You got trees. Got trees. Ooh. Ugh. Well, that doesn't work. Those are, we sure we set our scale correctly? Those look awful small. Or big, actually. Where's our person? No, I guess it's right. I keep forgetting the ship's not that big, so that's cool. Okay. Turn off a person again. We might add another tree line into this thing as well. Just gonna kill it for right now. Let's come back and see what we got. And I think, yeah, we got a duplicate of the Coruscant and the Nidus. Let's just get rid of them. I want to try and keep it at least a little bit under control. And dead leaves as well. I can always add more, and ground cover as well. Okay, so no duplicates anymore, and still looking good. And were these our? I think the last two are probably our trees. Yep, those things, and then those. So let's go set that with a culling mask to our vertex group that we painted in just a few minutes ago. Group. I might have to change it around a bit more. And our tree to the same thing to our vertex group. And that's nowhere near enough trees anymore. I may have got rid of way too many in the background, but let's see. So this has to move. You cannot sit in front of my. So the easiest way to try it is just to try a different seed. Find something we like better. I can't. Are there any there you can see at all? Yeah, there's one. Okay. Trees. I want to see what happens if we double the number. Do it again. But then I'm going to adjust our seeds. There we go. Okay, so that's doing what I want, actually. That's really nice. We've got the sense of trees. It's not blocking our view. And actually, our camera angle is low enough. I don't care that there's not a lot in the background. We're going to solve that with the HDRI. You'll just see green. So in a word, woohoo. Let's just to prove that to ourselves. Let's grab an HDR. Trees around. It really isn't going to matter. Just something heavy. So mossy forest. I mean, or monk forest. We want darker monk forest. Let's try it. Yes, that's a good one. Looking cool. We'll add a bit more light to it, I think, but we're doing well. You see how fast this stuff is too, guys? Like we've been working under 50 minutes now to get here, and we're doing awesome. I'm curious what will happen. I'm going to come to our scatter, and I'm going to turn off most of it. I want to keep the things that are big enough that change our composition, but not to change just tonal stuff. So like we don't need these on. We do need those on. Don't need that on. Don't need that on. So we're just going to leave these three things on right now so we can see where we're at when we need to. Because when I come into this, and now it gets interesting. How much do we want to cover this thing in vegetation? The answer may be quite a bit. And I think I'm going to change my mind yet again and select everything that is rubber, those cables, and separate them. See, this is what I mean by keeping the materials different. It just gives you an easy way to make parts separate when you need to. Because I don't want to cover the cables in plant life right now, although we may. We're going to select. Now we've selected our ship as our emitter. We're going to save. We're going to open the biomes. And we're going to see, we'll start with maybe jungle ground and see what it does. I don't think we're going to use jungle ground necessarily. Ground 3. 4 layers, 2, 5 layers, 1, 4 layers, 1 or 3. Let's see what 3 looks like. I mean, I don't hate it. I do not hate it. I do not hate it at all. I think that is it dead leaves? Is this the one that's messing us up? It doesn't look great. No, it's not dead leaves. Well, maybe it is, but it's debris. Debris is not looking great, and dead leaves looks good, but debris needs to come off this one, or at the very least, I want debris only. Let's try doing this first on ecosystem. No, abiotic. Abiotic, yes. Slope. Oh, very flat. And it is not absolute slope because I don't want it on the bottom of things. Okay, that feels a lot better. And we still get a little bit of it, and that helps, I think. Okay. That is so cool. Now I'm looking and I'm not seeing what I was hoping for in this material. So I need to fix this. Go away. Specifically, turn off scatter. My dirty hull, I wasn't sure if I had it set. It doesn't have the proximity thing set up for other objects, maybe? It might be as simple as that. Shading, distressed outer panel. This is all done with fluent materializer. So it's not doing the AO stuff that I would have otherwise wanted it to do. And I think we're gonna cheat. I want it to be a little bit more grunged out where the plants are, so it doesn't just look clean underneath it. And I think, let's grab, oh, there. Blender shaders, starships, big, medium, small. And it's gonna cube. I always forget which one of these two it is. Size large. I don't want no. I want edgeware. And apply it to that. And I just was doing this to get it into the object because now I'm going to take this stuff and come back over to here. And I'm going to apply it on top of this whole other material. This will make it way more dirty. Color to color to color. I'm not too worried about it for roughness and that kind of thing. It's already pretty good there, I believe. But I want that extra levels of dirt. Dirt standard. I'm gonna make the distance 1 because I think there's gonna be a lot of it. Let's get rid of this. And edgeware is fine. I would probably need that. I just kind of think it's cool. We already kind of had some of that going. Layers, or layout, sorry, layers. And then scatter turned back on. Yes. So now you see how like my hull has gotten way dirtier looking. Everything's way darker looking too. And let's turn back on our ground. Turn back on everything. We're gonna need more light because man, you can't hardly see this thing, which is kind of what it should be like in a jungle. But like, let's come back out to the edge. Or on this side, just look at how grody that ship looks. Like that looks cool. Okay, saved. It's been a while. Turn off scatter just because it's slow. But we'll need it back on in a minute because we're going to need, obviously, to deal with this whole lighting thing. Now, we don't need to add gobos to the light this time because we got a lot of trees. So I think the trees are going to naturally do that. So we should just be able to add a light, sunlight, and I'm going to bring it over here near my camera just so it's easy to control when I need to. And we're going to rotate it so it's hitting like that. And then just for a bit of interest, a bit of shadows coming forward like that too. We don't want to be straight down. Maybe we'll angle it a little more and a little more. And we're going to make it strength of 10. It's going to blast this sucker. And we're going to set our color temperature to 5,000. So it's going to be a little warmer than it could otherwise be. And we come back and we turn back on scatter. Let's see what we got. It's going to be genius, right? Everyone agrees it's going to look great. It's not nearly bright enough. It's just for see if the lighting is penetrating at all. Oh, you can see that like the light is essentially just not penetrating, which is fine because like we got it set to 100 and it's just getting blasted away. But those trees are blocking everything. Do I have too many trees? Let's see. A couple ways we can fix this. So let's play around with it and see what we get. We're going to grab our emitter of the ground and come back down to our trees. And we're going to half them. Half them again. That's starting to work. Half them again. That might be good. Might be too many though. But we can always add a tree of our own. And I know the light is just disgusting so we can see it. So let's fix our sunlight back down to 10. Still very bright. 5. This is now we're to the tweaking stage where it's going to be like, oh, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and it might not be the most exciting thing to watch, and I can easily spend way more than half an hour doing it, much less, you know. In fact, we just are on a stream, so I apologize if it gets a little on the boring side, but this is what it's like to actually do this stuff. Do we have too much on our? Is that too thick? I mean, it's cool. It's probably realistic, but are we losing our entire sense that there's a ship there underneath vegetation? I do not know. Let's see. Oh, just select ship. Let's see what happens if we just sort of half some stuff. Let's just universally half our density across everything. red leaves, half. Ground cover, this is probably the important one. Half, half. I think that's better. I think we see more that it's at the very least a ruin something now that we might have been missing before. And because of that, because we cut it down, let's go back to shading and increase our AO dirt distance to 2, 3. Where are we at? I don't know, let's make it a huge difference this time. I'm on distress outer panel, right? Let's make sure that's the one. 3. No, I'm on distressed hull texture, and that would be why. Okay. Well, we're just going to fix it. And outer panel. There we go. Now that it doesn't actually need to be a separate material, once I created this, once by just making it before I joined it, it made a slot. So now I can actually join them back into one if I wanted to. I think we'll do the same for inner panel. Hull. No, outer panel. That's what I wanted, right? Seth. Outer panel. Yes. Distressed outer panel, distressed outer panel, distressed outer panel, rubber. Cool. I don't even see those, but it's fine. Save. So they all have the same material, but they have different material slots now, so I can still select them if I needed to break them apart. But I feel like we're probably beyond that now. I hope so. Saving again. And it might be time to bring back in the rest of our scatter objects so we can check to make sure that we're not getting too dark once we're blocking more of the light. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, I feel like I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West. It's just a, you know. Now, depending on how intense we want to be, do we want ground fog? Do we want something else? I don't actually think we want to maybe block more of the light. I feel like we're getting a good light amount now. Do we want to change the color of the cables just to see what we get? Color to, can we see them at all if we make them brighter? We'll make them white. Can we see any cables? I probably just went nuts on making cables that you can't see at all. It's typical. It happens. We'll drop it back. Subliminally, they're there, right? Yeah. I mean, you never know. And I could still go into this thing or move around, and maybe from a different angle we'll see them, but I don't think they're doing terribly much right now. And that's okay. I'm really liking this composition, though. I think it's leading our eye nicely. I like this tree sweeping in here. I like this block in this corner here. I'm debating on fog, like I said. It might be neat. I don't think we need much, though. Want to try it? Yeah, we want to try it. Okay, Shift A. I don't think I've been using clouds as fog, but I think I'm gonna just use something I made myself. Volume import OpenVDB, assets, VDB files, swirling ground fog. Turn off scatter again while we position this sucker. And it's going to think for a minute. There we go. Now let's save and come back to solid view. And there's our fog. Let's bring it in and over and down. I don't know that I want tremendous amounts of it. I'll give it a material just so I can adjust it. And its density is going to be like 0.1. I feel like this is one of those like icings on the cake thing where you might not even really notice it. So I'm not sure how worthwhile it is to do, but we're going to do it anyway. We've got some density of 0.3 just to see. 0.3 is quite a bit now. I think I don't want it quite so high either. Let's scale the Z-axis back down. I have finally embraced my inner Canadian. I'm now saying Z more than I say Z. It took a while. I mean, I was born here, but then I grew up in the States and I said Z for years. The only place where it annoys me is it is ZBrush, goddammit, not ZBrush, because it is a proper name. ZBrush. Hill I will die on. Turn back on our scatter. See what we get. I mean, it's subtle. I kind of like it. It's going to slow our render down a disgusting amount, comparatively speaking. But I do kind of like it. Let's see. I'm going to. So that's what it looks like with the level of compositing that it'll show us in Blender 3.5 before it allows for the couple of nodes that don't work. I think they're coming in 3.6. I'm just going to move our fog to a fog layer or fog group collection just so I can turn it off if I want to, which I'm going to now. Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's helpful, seeing it off. Photograph and depth of field focus. I'm going to focus, I think, right there. 7 meters away. We'll leave our depth of field at 2.3, which is the default for this lens. Good with that. Wow, this is like coming together super well. You know, we are like 20 minutes to go, and I'm not sure what else I want to do. I didn't see when you said that, Brian, if you're still there, but yes, I hate it when that happens too, and it disconnects. Glad it's back up. Now, I could. So, okay, I know what I'll do. I've been doing 2 renders of these things. So this is our first one, and we've got it set up. So I don't have to hurt anything. And as long as I don't move anything, we'll be good. I'm going to turn off scatter. And actually, I'm going to leave scatter on. Come to scatter. And I'm going to turn off all this stuff again. Is it that one that I leave it on? Or this one? This one, yes, the nidus. I'm just turning it off in the viewport. The render, you can see if the camera is still on. So if I wanted to run a render, I don't actually have to turn all this stuff back on again, which is important. And now I'm going to come to cameras, make sure I select the group so it puts it back in there again, and then copy our camera. Photo, select our new camera. And now let's see if we can find a second camera angle that we liked. Something neat. Something that maybe shows in a bit more of like inside, or at least that hole. See what that would look like. And let's make it a 28, so it's wide. Kind of trying to just find something where I don't get a lot of background, so I don't have to worry about what the HDRI is doing. Something like that. And then, so this is how I set the second camera up and why it's so easy afterward. Once you get the first one, all right, there. And then we got no trees in the way. Come back on. It's all right. It's a little dark. Like, no shit, Seth. I'm gonna try one thing on our ship, and I think it'll work for both renders. And I am gonna turn scatter off again. Ugh, OBS, you beast. You do not want to work today. Okay, so we selected a top panel, and we're gonna delete it. And another one. How big is this one? Select this one, X, and delete it. Okay, and now maybe we get more light into the ship. A little bit more light from that angle. Works. Turn back on scatter. Yep, a little bit of light in there. I like that. And from the other angle, make sure we didn't ruin anything. No, can't even see it. So now we get the sense that it goes through and it's not just a black hole. And now we see a little bit more of, I'm literally pointing at the screen with my finger, I'm sorry, of the stuff inside. And I think that's even one of them, their cables. Got to show that off after we've spent time making it. Yeah, cool. And turn fog back on. Doesn't make any real difference in this one. Yeah. Okay. Go back to our first view again. Is there anything else we want to do? This is all I would do to this shot, to be honest. I mean, there might be a lot more after a director said something or whatever, but I think right now, this is about all I would do. Are there any vines we want to add? Let's just see. I'm kind of reaching here, but I'm not used to finishing early. Do we have any vines here? Vine. What you got for me? Oh, that's right. You can draw these. What did I do? What did I add? Let's see. I haven't drawn a vine in a long time. It's traffic. Draw a vine. Ooh, that's ugly. That is ugly. We did not like that one. I don't even know that I need to. Like, I could draw some vines in here and just populate them a bit so they get the hanging vine thing. But it's so cheesy too. I mean, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it's just cheesy. Maybe we won't bother. Am I just being lazy? I don't know. Ivy, anything we want? Um, no, I don't think so. We could, I suppose. No, I'm not gonna do the vine. It's just, again, it's just cheesy. Um, might just call it. Say we're done a little early today. Um, that's, and of course, as soon as I do, I'm gonna think of more things that I want to put on this image because that's what always happens. We could put a person. I'm gonna let's just check our scatters or our HDRs real quick. We could, okay. What happens if we change our brightness down to 1? Sun's there, so it should be okay. Oh yeah, that's better. Let's do that. And even though we're not seeing almost any of it, let's grab the, we have the space for it, so let's grab the 8K. Feel the quality. I mean, we're seeing what, like that much of it on this one, but I have the RAM. We might as well use it. Okay. All right. Well, there's no point in sitting here and watching paint dry while it renders, and that will probably take 15 minutes or so. So it's Friday. Um, oh, the marking the wrong area. Yes, got it, Brian. Sorry, it's all jumping around. These comments show up way later because of the latency, so I don't always see it right when you guys say something. Um, yeah, marking the wrong area. Ugh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's Friday for a long weekend for Americans. You guys should be doing something interesting. For everybody else, I hope it's sunny and nice out. I'm gonna let you go, and I will post up the final images on Instagram and Mastodon as soon as they get done. I'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Um, that would be nice. Always appreciated. And I will be back again on Monday with something else. I'm not sure yet what we're going to make, but it'll be cool. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not a holiday for me. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks for watching and check in later.